Here, you want different music? You want different music? There you go. You know what? I wish that I could use pandemic sounds on here, but I have it so we could have like some like not stream beats music, which would be awesome. But for some reason, whenever I used it, YouTube flagged it, despite the fact that I have a subscription. So I got to figure out how to do that, like make it so that like it's not punishing me for using music that I actually have rights to. But YouTube's live streaming it's so broken when it comes to copyright notices. Like it's stupid broken. Twitch does not have this problem. Twitch is in my honest opinion a better streaming platform at the moment. And I would stream this show from Twitch if Twitch would actually archive videos correctly and its discoverability was better. But if we were on sometimes part of me is like, gosh damn it, dude, I wish I had done this show on Twitch. We'd have sounders and emojis, all right? It would be fun. But it is what it is. It is what we're growing. We're going to have all this stuff soon. How you doing, guys? What's up, John? Dark? Pickled Squirrel, Amtrue, Raptor, Animal. How y'all doing? Red! What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Friday stream. Yes, Amtrue. It is going to be an interesting show today. The last show, we were a little angry. We were a little angry. And then as time goes on, the story gets dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber. At this point in time, all you could really do is laugh. Because some of the stuff they have here, the only thing that I can say is that it's bonkers. It is bonkers. As the title of the stream suggests, the stuff that they are coming out with now in order to justify this raid on Mar-a-Lago, it makes it look even dumber. You guys have seen it, right? If you haven't, we're about to talk all about it. Sorry to hear the bad stuff. Yeah, she's doing fine. She's gonna be fine. She's just growing a baby. You know, growing a baby is an uncomfortable thing. Never cottoned to computer-generated music myself. I'm a huge synth fan. Huge. But, I mean, there's like a whole world of music out there that I can't use. Because YouTube is just like, that sounds, I don't know. Their copyright stuff's so dumb. I can't. They need to fix it. You would figure major corporations would have better time identifying copyright music or making it easier to be like, hey, you know, this is my music or I have rights to it, but they don't. I'm cleaning out the youngest child's room. If you don't hear from me by Monday, send out the search dogs. Good luck. Godspeed. What's up, Frank Crow? How you doing? Welcome. Move it over to Twitch. Export the episodes over to the Red State YouTube page. Maybe one day I could get that cleared by corporate and be like, hey, I want to try to do a few episodes from Twitch. and we'll just see how well it does. Doing all right, Brennan. We still have emojis. I mean, you got emojis, but I want my own emojis, you know? I want Red State Live emojis. You know what I'm saying? You know? And I tried to look into uploading emojis, and they were like, you have to do all sorts of... You have to jump through all sorts of hoops in order to get your own emojis. And I was like, maybe one day. Or at least I do, because I'm watching... No, there's emojis you can use here. I think that there's like... Yeah, see... Yeah. You've got it. Some on the left and right is agreeing for this for some reason, getting rid of the FBI. I want to get rid of the FBI real bad. Like I said last stream, if you are a Republican and you're running for office, one of the things you should be running on right now to make your iron even hotter for people to strike, I'm going to defund the FBI, the IRS, the CIA. Or not the DOJ. Like, I'm going to minimize these departments. You are going to see a strip... I don't know about the CIA. We're going to strip a lot of these departments of their power. And I'd be like... Ching. Good to hear that, Frank. Get rid of the entire cabinet level departments, commerce, education, energy, homeland security. They can all go. They can all go. Yeah. The EPA... Oh, get rid of the EPA, man. Get rid of it. We need to reduce the federal government down to just being like a clerical position. Like, and let the states handle it. The states have their own governments that they can just kind of work, and they can work their own land. They can do that. Just get rid of it all, man. The federal government is too big, too powerful. It's at this point in time, it's reverted back to effectively being rulers and peasants. We're almost back to feudalism at this point. I want to get rid of all the alphabet organizations, save a lot of money. Amen. How many billions, trillions of dollars would we actually save if we could just reduce the size of government, get rid of a few of the alphabet organizations? Our debt would just... oh my God, the amount of debt we would tackle, how quickly. Oh, you mean custom ones? Yeah, I want custom emojis. Cut the imperial government back to what it was about 1850. Amen. Did I say imperial? How come we never hear anything about the CIA? Nothing ever. Crickets. I think the CIA has its uses. But the CIA is... I mean, it's all corrupt. So we need to go in there and just start... figuratively, YouTube, chopping off heads. As they say, it's the quiet ones you have to watch. Except we are better armed, Brennan. Than back. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We are. Which, you know, they're trying to fix that too. Guys! Let's just get into this. Because I don't know the weirdness of it all. Like, I don't know how to relay how stupid what's going on is. How they have made it worse for themselves, how they have effectively sealed their fate, not just for the midterms, but for 2020. I think that Trump is probably now, more than ever, more of a danger to the Democrats and establishment Republicans, who, by the way, it looks like some of them are on their way out. Thank God. Liz Cheney, it seems like her days are numbered in office. I'm very excited about that, because I'm tired of looking at her stupid face. Let's start at the beginning. Trump came out swinging, naturally. You know, I think that they were... One of the things that the Democrats love to do is use the federal government in order to intimidate you. They want you to back down. They're playing chicken at all times, you know. And Trump is... Whether it's because he knows better or it's just he can't be intimidated like that, Trump effectively called their bluff. What am I talking about? Apparently, they didn't want they wanted it to make it seem like Trump didn't want the probable cause and the warrant to be unsealed. And Trump responded with, do it. You won't. You ain't hard. Merrick Garland plays chicken. Trump responds by slamming on the accelerator. A lot of things happened very quickly. And I'm very excited about this. My colleague Nick Rama reported on Attorney General. By the way, everything I'm about to talk about is on redstate.com right now. Once again, please go to redstate.com. You can follow along with me. Not only that, you can sign up for the VIP program while you're there. Use promo code Morse, M-O-R-S-E, on sign up. It'll get you a discount. It'll give you access to stuff that's not available to just front page viewers, including stuff from yours truly. I write VIP posts daily, except on the weekends, and all sorts of other content. So by all means, please, it really does help us out, especially right now when we are... we're a little bit under attack. I can't go into it, but just know. Merrick Garland plays chicken. Trump responds by slamming on the accelerator. This is from the great Jennifer O'Connell. My colleague Nick Rama reported on Attorney General Merrick Garland taking responsibility for authorizing the raid on former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. As Rama wisely surmised, it was pretty much a nothing burger, with Garland refusing to disclose the details of the warrant or the justification behind the raid. To give you guys a refresher, just in case you forgot, Mar-a-Lago was raided by the FBI. They claimed that they were after some boxes that held information left over from Trump's presidency. The boxes were in a room filled with things that were already documented by the National Archives. They knew where the boxes were. And yet, when the FBI raided the Mar-a-Lago home, they wanted access to the entire thing. They wanted the attorneys to not view what was happening. They wanted them to turn the cameras off. They went in with backpacks in order to find these boxes. Again, the boxes where they knew what they were and knew where they were and what was in them. So it all didn't really line up. Not only that, they didn't want to seem to hand over the warrant to search Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. And when they did, they noticed that it was the probable cause for the warrant was sealed. They had to have that opened by a judge. So it was a little weird. None of it made sense. Nothing really lined up, and we all kind of concluded with all the as an educated guess, really, that really what they were looking for wasn't actually the boxes. What they were looking for was anything that they could use to put Trump away or make him unqualified to run again in 2024. That's really what this boils down to. It's trying to stop him from running. They went through everything, including Melania's drawers. I guarantee you guys there's an FBI agent or two out there somewhere with pictures of Melania's undergarments on his phone. They just took the pictures. I almost can guarantee you that that's what happened. They even took Senator Scott Perry's phone. They found him, took his phone. Why? Because apparently he had communication with Trump before the January 6th riot, telling you more that this really is just trying to find something to pin on Trump so that he is disqualified from the Oval Office. The search warrant was authorized by a federal court upon the required finding of a probable cause. The property receipt is a document that federal law requires law enforcement agents to leave with the property owner. The department filed the motion to make public the warrant and receipt in light of the former president's public confirmation of the search, the surrounding circumstances, and the substantial public interest in this matter. Who knows what Garland thought this move would accomplish, but in typical Trump fashion, 45 simply doubled down. Be careful what you wish for, Mr. AG, from Trump's official Truth Social account. Not only will I not oppose... Should I read this in Trump voice? Not only will I not oppose the release of the documents related to... That's the worst one I've ever done. I'll just read it. Not only will I not oppose the release of documents related to the un-American, unwarranted, and unnecessary raid and break-in of my home in Palm Beach, Florida, Mar-a-Lago. I'm going a step further by encouraging the immediate release of these documents, even though they have been drawn up by radical left Democrats and possible future political opponents who have a strong... That's an interesting phrase. By future political opponents. Did he just admit that he's running? Who have a strong and powerful vested interest in attacking me, much as they have done for the last 6 years. I believe in chess, this is called check. When the details of the warrant are revealed, it may be checkmate fairly soon. Before Garland's presser on Thursday, lo and behold, the Washington Post released an exclusive report that indicated the FBI was looking for nuclear documents that were of, quote, deep concern among government officials about the types of information they thought could be located at Trump's Mar-a-Lago club and potentially in danger of falling into the wrong hands. The people who described some of the material that agents were seeking spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss an ongoing investigation. They did not offer additional details about what type of information the agents were seeking, including whether it involves weapons belonging to the United States or some other nation, nor did they say if the documents were recovered as part of the search. A Trump spokesman did not respond to a request for comment. The Justice Department and FBI declined to comment. Here we go with more shift show nonsense. We have damning evidence, but it's an ongoing investigation, so we just can't reveal it. But we will in time. As our senior editor, Joe Cunningham, points out, this sounds all too familiar. And to be quite honest, the media and the FBI have both done stellar jobs debasing themselves throughout the last 6 years. Both institutions are distrusted by the American public, and for good reason. The FBI pursued a largely fake dossier with agents that had admitted biases and agendas against Trump. The media has spent the last 6 years breathlessly telling us the walls are closing in after each and every new tidbit came out, and many of those were just as fake as the dossier. Pretty much, the American people are weary of this never-ending merry-go-round of witch hunts. They also know that the government has swept up good people in this January 6th campaign who are rotting in gulags and being denied their due process rights. Garland and the FBI want it both ways. Wave goodbye to that shit, boys. Garland attempted to play chicken by moving to have the warrant declassified, probably expecting Trump to flinch. Trump slammed on the accelerator by demanding that all of it be declassified. It will either be a swerve or a crash, maybe both. Trump is a brawler, and as we have seen over the past 6 years, he doesn't back down. Garland has proven himself a whip, which is why he is playing what looks like revenge fantasies from the Department of Justice rather than sitting on the Supreme Court. Yeah, I would say that this is kind of, this feels a little bit like revenge. Merrick Garland was denied a top position in government by Donald Trump because he was not good enough for that position. He sucks. All right, he is a leftist radical, and he's proving it. He proved it by authorizing this raid on a compound under the guise that Trump had sensitive nuclear information. I've got to ask a question. It really, this is something that we need to ask as a nation. If Trump had that nuclear information, why did the government wait so long to raid his compound to recover it? If he had that nuclear information, don't you think they would have acted way sooner? I'll give you another question to ask yourself, to ask of the government. Do you think that Trump actually had any kind of nuclear information whatsoever? Because I don't. But it's far more likely that Hillary Clinton did. It's far more likely that Hillary Clinton had all sorts of information on her server with all the emails and the hacking attempts that were made. A lot of sensitive information. How come her compound was never raided? See where I'm going with this? It seems a little strange, doesn't it? I don't need to point this out to you guys, but I mean, I already did in the last stream. This is not about nuclear information. This is not about nuclear information. This is yet another excuse to try to find something on Trump to disqualify him from the Oval Office in 2024. That is what this boils down to. This is them trying to make it seem like there is some big, huge conspiracy. There's a big, huge problem with Trump. He has this nuclear information. Oh my God. And make it seem scary and big. This is why we raided. It was a noble effort to protect our nation. Why, if y'all are this concerned enough to raid a compound, why did it take you this long to raid a compound for sensitive nuclear information? Y'all waited until now? Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Nuclear hot social media takes on Washington Post's bombshell report about the FBI raid. This is from Jeff Charles. Hey, what's up, Becco? Eric, what's going on, man? I've been VIP for 2 years now. Say hi to Stripe. I will, Frank. Thank you so much for being a subscriber, bud. I saw that ad, Dark. A little depressing. Liz has no chance. Oh, y'all saw that ad? We're gonna talk about that ad if I have the time. I thought that was a requirement for a warrant. You hand a copy to the person before you enter the premises. So, Piglet Squirrel, they did hand it there. Well, here's what they did first. They showed it to them. But then, for some reason, they didn't want to hand it over. The lawyers had to basically insist, like, give us the warrant. And then they couldn't, the probable cause was sealed. So you have to go to a court in order you have to go to a court to know what's in it. It was all really weird stuff. The affidavit provides the reason for the warrant. Merrick Warrant wants to play chicken and Trump steps on the accelerator. Best line of the... Yeah, exactly. I usually don't watch the news, but if the FBI doesn't come up with something, this will be a lot worse for them come Monday. Tim Pool was torching the Wapo article this morning about their non-factual story, and that is being nice. I actually watched that same video right before stream, and I kind of wanted to go over it myself because he makes a reference to how the media is reporting this, and I thought of a better reference, so I'm just going to have to show you guys. What up, Becca? Merrick Garland might be able to get a job at CNN if they are still solvent and not bankrupt. I've been surprised at CNN lately. You know, I mean, they still act like idiots, but every now and again they'll pop up and be like, the Democrats are not doing good things right now. They said that they were going to try and turn it around, and maybe they're trying. I don't know. We'll see. There's NFW that DOE documents that are at least TSSCI would be out of custody for 1 second. It's an excuse to go after. Yep. If he did it, it's useless. Codes change often. What's up, Mintats? And that is correct. So it's not... I think a lot of people jumped to codes, nuclear codes, but I think codes are literally changed every day, the nuclear codes. Or something along those lines, like every set number of hours. The sensitive nuclear documents, I don't know what kind of information an ex-president would have. But here's the thing. I mean, I don't know. The boxes that they were talking about were searched through with the National Archives, which they said was their goal. Do they think, but they searched the rest of the house, including like Melania's wardrobe. Do they think that like he was hiding these documents in the lining of Melania's dresses? I guess they were underneath her. They were underneath her unmentionables in the drawer. Like, why would you keep something that sensitive in something in a place so obvious? And by obvious, I mean just like at Mar-a-Lago. You know, if I had sensitive documents pertaining to nuclear weapons in the United States, I wouldn't just have them laying around my house. You know, they would be in a, and I'm speaking hypothetically, but they would be in a secure location a little bit away from me somewhere. You know, that way, if they did come raid my compound, which would be the most obvious place to come looking, they wouldn't find it. Not that I'm saying Trump has something stashed somewhere. Of course, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that, like, it's, again, this all points back to the fact that the FBI, the DOJ, was looking not for nuclear stuff, not for nuclear information. They weren't searching for these boxes. They were there to try to desperately find something to disqualify Trump from 2024. That's really what this boils down to. This is pure weaponization of the DOJ and FBI to stop political opponents by the Democrats. Period. The more excuses they make, the more it seems like that's the case. But I'm not a lawyer, nor do I play one on TV, but I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express. Solid reference. They can try to make it so no one will vote for him. They're only making it so more people will vote for him now. I talked to Amy Carter last night, and I asked her, what is the most important issue? She said she thought it was nuclear weaponry and the control of nuclear arms docks held by Trump. But, oh, thank you. Thank you. I love this hat. It's my Wings of Freedom hat. If you know, you know. I just don't see how he would just have them laying around at Mar-a-Lago. It makes no sense. Nuclear changed all the... Yeah, exactly. Stuff in her pumps. I'm telling you, he hid them in the bottom of the cereal boxes. Mini Raptor knows where the nuclear documents are stashed. You know what? Give me your best location, chat. Give me your best location for where the nuclear information is stashed. Is it at the bottom of the cereal boxes? Is it under Melania's panties? You go tell me. It worked for the Jews trying to get out of Germany and Poland during the war. Well, some of them, that is. Oh, hiding stuff in various unmentionables? Is that... He hid them in the bottom of the bird cage. What's up, Don? Hey, Brandon, I got the nuke codes from Trump. 8675309. They just don't want it to get out that nuclear launch codes was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What was it, Spaceballs, that was like, what's the code to get into the planet or whatever? Get past the gate. And he's like, okay, I'll tell you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In a wrapper stashed in the toilet tank. They're in the couch cushions. Kept falling out of Trump's pockets. They couldn't decipher top secret from Victoria's Secret. You know I'm doing a cartoon on this. There you go, Jim! Make a cartoon out of this concept. That's what we need. Thank you guys for giving Jim that idea. See, chat. You just helped. You wrote an article at Red State. Believe it or not, you just wrote an article at Red State. Congratulations, chat. Hashtag the nuke codes are in Trump's pool drain. Yes, the code on the luggage. Forgot to say the location. My bad. They sewed it into the dress coat suitcase linings. God, where would I put nuclear documents if I actually... You know what? I would probably take them. See, I would take them to like a field somewhere. I would put them in like a lockbox. I would wrap that lockbox in cloth. And then I would bury it in like a field. Or like out in the woods somewhere where no one would think to look for it. You know? We're amusing and muses. Yeah, that's true. Other than nuclear codes, what could be secret information that they want that we all know, like locations? I feel though that like, I'm sure we have secret locations where these, but I mean like, again, how would he have made off with all that information? And what would he do with it? Is he trying to sell it to the Russians? I sincerely doubt it. I was trying to come up with something clever, but everyone took all the smart, funny ones already. Oh, you get creative. You could get creative. How can you even keep a straight face doing this, Brandon? It's so ludicrous. I don't keep a straight face. I don't. The nuke codes are in Trump's Euro Club. They aren't, but who doesn't want the nuclear? The nuclear information is actually in Hunter Biden's laptop. The only reason the Democrats have never seen it is because they refuse to look at it. Per a meme I saw, it was put in with Epstein's client list. That's the fastest way to get people to Democrats like, I'm not looking at that. Not looking at it. He's probably got them stored inside a frozen fish in the kitchen. You know, a nuclear code. The codes are in Trump's golf bag. Right next to the 9-iron. They're wrapped around the 9-iron is what it is. Maybe he's storing it in Hunter's laptop. Yeah, exactly. He's storing it in Hunter's laptop. That's why the Democrats have never found him. Nuclear hot social media takes on Washington Post bombshell report about FBI raid. This is by Jeff Charles. Like the stream if you haven't already. Like the stream, folks. Do it. Helps me out with the algorithm. Anti-Trumpers on social media are thrilled, but not thrilled, outraged, at the possibility that former President Donald Trump kept important documentation regarding America's nuclear weapons at Mar-a-Lago after the Washington Post published an article reporting that, quote, classified documents relating to nuclear weapons were among the items FBI agents sought in a search of former President Donald Trump's Florida residence on Monday. Trump haters issued a barrage of hot takes on the matter, hoping this component of the story would be one of several smoking guns that will finally take down the orange man. What is bad? First up, we have actor and filmmaker Rob Reiner, who we can always count on. This guy is such a freaking... Rob Reiner is so weird. He's a weird dude. First up, we have actor and filmmaker Rob Reiner, who we can always count on for his dramatic musings on politics. Crowning a lifetime of criminality, Donald Trump led an armed mob to... He was at the front of the line to overthrow the United States government, then stole America's nuclear secrets. It's like he's writing a really bad script right now. His claim, an indictment can't come soon enough for this treasonous mother effer. He's making the claim that the January 6th riots, Trump was leading it. And somehow they broke into the Capitol, where inside the Capitol was were the nuclear codes, the nuclear documents in the Capitol. Okay? And that they had to fight through guards and Capitol Police. And thanks to he and his insurrectionist army, they broke into a secure facility in the Capitol where they keep the nuclear documents. They took the documents and left. And now Trump is sitting on these documents. And the FBI apparently didn't try to go after these documents for a year and a half. He's such an idiot, dude. How does Rob Reiner... He tweets this... How many... 54.3K likes, you guys. 54.3... I refuse to believe that number, actually. I refuse to believe that number. I think Elon Musk is right, dude. Twitter is about 50% bots. How many retweets? 10.5K retweets on this. 58.7K likes. Oh my God, we're up against idiots. How do they get this far? Then we have far leftist groups like Occupy Democrats, who is known for posting desperately hysterical tweets about, well, everything. The group tweeted, breaking, bombshell report reveals that FBI agents were searching for classified documents about nuclear weapons when they raided Mar-a-Lago, a far worse crime than experts were even speculating. Retweet if you think Trump must be prosecuted. I kind of want to retweet it, but not because I think Trump should be prosecuted, but because I want them to try. Can you imagine the hilarity that would unfold if they tried him for this? Former congressman and talk show host Joe Walsh, a conservative who was broken by Trump, also waxed hysterical and used the development to attack the Republican Party. Nuclear secrets. Wonder what else he was hiding. What else was Trump hiding beside nuclear secrets? Kim Jong-un's favorite kind of ice cream. Obviously. Hunter Biden's favorite prostitute? I don't know. And he has the entire Republican Party on a leash. Just hilarious. They so deserve it. The entire Republican Party so deserves to be held hostage by... Do you feel held hostage by Trump? Florida Agriculture Commissioner Nikki Fried... Is it Fried or Freed? Does anybody know? Is it Fried or Freed? Who is currently engaged in a doomed race for governor, also chimed in, Floridians, if you see someone stealing nuclear secrets, say something. I saw Trump. I saw him come out of the building one time holding some papers and looking around suspicious like. I'm trying to wrap my head around why she thought this tweet. Is it that Nikki is this dumb, or does she think that you're that dumb? You know, like I'm kind of stuck. Does she think that Trump is just like tiptoeing around stealing nuclear secrets, nuclear documents? Like some sort of like Saturday morning cartoon villain just twisting a mustache and... When she loses her race for governor, guaranteed this woman is going to claim the election was stolen. She's going to make a big stink about it. She's going to... Guaranteed. Because people this crazy always do. People this crazy always do. But Brandon Trump said his election was stolen. I understand that. You know what? I can't get into it because YouTube's going to get mad at me. I'll keep that in mind, Nikki. Next time I see someone pilfering nuclear secrets, you'll be the first to know. Last but most certainly not least, we have Midas Touch, a group that came to prominence in the failed effort to cancel comedian and podcaster Joe Rogan because he dared to speak with medical experts who disagreed with the Democrat-approved narrative on the COVID-19 pandemic and vaccines. Was Donald Trump trying to sell intelligence about our nuclear weapons to foreign adversaries? If he was, wouldn't that leave something of a paper trail? Wouldn't our own intelligence agencies figure out that they have suddenly our nuclear information through our spies and intelligence networks? Don't you think that the sale of something that huge would have actually triggered something? If Trump did have that much money, don't you think that an account somewhere, because he would have sold that for a lot of money, don't you think an account somewhere would have sent off some alarm bells in the intelligence community? Do you think that he just didn't have a buyer yet? Again, this keeps getting dumber and dumber. The Washington Post noted that the material about nuclear weapons is especially sensitive and usually restricted to a small number of government officials, and that publicizing details about U.S. weapons could provide an intelligence roadmap to adversaries seeking to build ways of countering those systems. This is what the anti-Trump crowd is using to make hay over his revelation. However, the author also notes that the two unnamed sources who came forward did not say if such documents were recovered as part of the search. The bottom line is that we have no idea what type of nuclear documentation the FBI was seeking. Moreover, we don't even know if they found any of this material in the 15 boxes of documents that agents seized on Monday. But we already know what's going on here. The Bureau is hoping to find evidence of Trump committing a severe offense, and Democrats are praying to their woke gods that this happens. It won't be too long before we know the truth. Jeff says the bottom line is that we have no idea what type of nuclear documentation the FBI was seeking. I posit that the FBI also didn't know what kind of nuclear documentation the FBI was seeking. You would figure with something that secure or that big of a deal that they would actually have a very, very narrow, like a very identifiable thing that they are searching for. But they're being real cagey about it. I don't even think they knew. And again, I want to reiterate this. This wasn't about nuclear documents. Okay, so we've referred back to this Washington Post article multiple times. This is where it all started. This nuclear document news headline bonanza. All right, this is where it all started. This Wapo article. As you're going to see, it's kind of flimsy. Everything is flimsy. This is all in order to create some sort of sensationalist idea that President Trump is walking around with nuclear information. And that the FBI raid on his compound was absolutely necessary. Rob Reiner had a dream last night that was just Anakin Skywalker marching on the Dead Jedi Temple from Episode 3, but Anakin's face was Trump. He's on record killing younglings. Tweet is ironic. Yeah. Unleash the bots. Dude, I do not... I think Elon Musk is right. Or at least 10% bots on Twitter at last count. Musk's timeline was hilarious last night, by the way. I saw some of it. It's Freed. Nikki Freed. Okay. Thank you. You'd think that I would know that as like one of the, like a journalist who works and kind of reports on her from time to time. But I'll be honest with you guys. The only thing that she is to me is a funny place to go for dumb tweets. She's not going to survive this election. She is going to be just another Democrat who loses so badly and then proclaims that she got did unfairly. It's going to be the same story, different day. With all the information that is in Trump's head, will they go after his brain? They would probably... We got to search inside his skull. That's where the nuclear documents are kept, is inside his skull. They surgically... You think that hair piece is real? Nah, it's to cover the scar from where they cut open his skull, put the nuclear documents in there, put his skull back on. Freed is fried. I like that. Yes, I'm a hostage of Trump and his henchmen. There is the room right now telling me this is MAGA country. The nuclear code locations in Trump's favorite naughty movies. Next on Six Sad World. Dude, what a reference, Pickled Squirrel. Na 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 na. They need to bring Daria back. This is ultra MAGA company. Yeah, we've evolved like a Pokemon at this point. It's no longer MAGA country. It's ultra MAGA country. I can't tell you how I know, but she's toast. Will never be governor. There is no possible way, because I've watched her send out these tweets and make these claims. Like, she is desperate to make Ron DeSantis look like some sort of hypervillain. Like he is the next goose-stepping, jack-booted Nazi Hitler. Like sometimes your claims... This Democrat Party has this problem right now, okay? It is one of the reasons that the Democrat Party continues to look worse and worse and worse in the American public is that they go straight for the most sensationalistic thing they can think of. They don't try, it's not subtle. They don't try to make any kind of reasonable arguments. They just go right for like the most bombastic thing that you can possibly think of. This whole nuclear information stuff is also part of that, by the way. They try to think of something to like really get the blood pumping, to really get the headlines going, and after a while, it's exactly kind of like The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Like, how often can you make these claims, these bombastic, out of bounds claims, before people start going, okay, man, scale it back. Scale it back. All right? We know that Trump supporters aren't actually Nazis. Come on. We know that Ron DeSantis isn't part of a death cult. Okay? Like, I'm telling you that I think the Democrat Party has sniffed its own farts so many times that they have now begun to not be able to tell when they stink. It's I don't know. It's so awkward. It's so weird. And the more they do it, the less believable they become to the general populace. And Nikki Fried is a very good example of this. She comes out with these very bizarre accusations. Just out of left field nonsense. And then Democrats wonder why people don't believe them. They see Trump as their Bond villain. Yes, exactly. He's just this over-the-top villain bent on world destruction. Like, bro, calm down. They think Trump was walking around like Chekhov in STIV. We are looking for the nuclear vessels. Can you tell us where the nuclear vessels are? Keep it real, Big Don. Thank you so much for stopping by. You rock. Vessels. What up, dude? Half baked. How you doing, man? Nikki cannot be trusted. I wish I could say more, but I took an oath of confidentiality. Later, peeps. Keep it real, Don. What else is he hiding? Trump is actually an android. OP stream is freezing again. Uh-oh. I'm not getting any alerts on my end. If they don't come up with something big, they lose, we win. Like I said last stream, whatever they were looking to find, if they better find something, and it better be big enough. It better be big enough. Because if it's not, they're doomed. Kind of like the word racist is done. Overdone and has lost its meaning in politics. Oh, racist? The other one that I have, and I've talked about this on stream before, the word phobe. You know, like, oh, you're a homophobe, you're a transphobe. You know, phobe is also used completely inaccurately. And it's gotten to a point where, again, that word is lost. Because a phobia is an irrational fear of something that kicks in your fight or flight, right? It surges your body with adrenaline. I've yet to meet anybody who sees a gay person or a lesbian or even a trans person or something like that, and their fight or flight kicks in. You know, their adrenaline surges and they're ready to either like do violence or run the opposite direction in blind hysteria. Right? But they say that to make the opposition seem like they are irrationally angry and afraid. You know? But again, they throw that term around like there's no tomorrow. And then they wonder why people are just suddenly like not affected by the accusation anymore. You can't go to extremes all the time and expect people to stay at that level of alert. I like how Trump described the raid, like Watergate, but in reverse. Yeah. Yeah, it's good now, just having some connection issues as usual. Dude, I can't wait for fiber to come to my area. Reeks of desperation and is a total overreach of powers. Yep. That's also something that we pretty much... This showed more about them than it did about Trump. It showed their desperation. They are desperate. I only know how to say freed because Brad Slager's great The Libel Source VIP podcast, which you should all be listening to. Another great VIP production. When you sign up for the VIP program, promo code Morse. What concerns me is this is how a police state works. Yep. They threw around the term Banana Republic a lot after the raid, and it is not a hyperbolic description because that's exactly what they do. Trump is an alien from Rigel and from the future too. He's a time-traveling alien robot. I'm a phobe and I am not ashamed, LOL. Don't discriminate against me, LOL. You hurt my feelings. And as the British have been proving, feelings are law. They have a Trump phobe. They're Trump phobes. What's up, soul? How you doing, man? Everyone is suffering from adrenal fatigue from all the sky is falling crap. Pickled squirrel, that's a great way to put it. Adrenal fatigue. I like that. I want to cover this Washington Post nonsense because I feel like this is the origin of all the nonsense. And again, Tim Pool covered it on his YouTube channel, and it is a great video. I definitely recommend you go watch it. But we're going to do it here. Classified documents relating to nuclear weapons were among the items FBI agents sought in a search of former President Donald Trump's Florida residence on Monday, according to people familiar with the investigation. Experts in classified information said the unusual search underscores deep concern among government officials about the types of information they thought could be located at Trump's Mar-a-Lago club and potentially in danger of falling into the wrong hands. Among government officials. What government officials? Who was concerned? I would like to know the names of the government officials that were so concerned about this. You know why? Not just because I want to point out that these people are idiots, but if these people were concerned that Trump had these documents, again, why did they wait this long to push Merrick Garland to raid the FBI, or have the FBI raid Mar-a-Lago? If they knew that Trump had them, then why didn't they act sooner? The people who described some of the material that agents were seeking spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss an ongoing investigation. I like the fact that we never know the identity of the people who go after Trump. They seem to have information, but we don't know who they are. They're always anonymous, always. Why? They did not offer additional details about what type of information the agents were seeking, including whether it involved weapons belonging to the United States or some other nation. So we don't know who they are. We don't know the details. Already, this article is written on flimsy info. Nor did they say if such documents were recovered as part of the search. The absolute state of journalism today. A Trump spokesman did not respond to a request for comment. I wouldn't either. I'd be like, this is stupid. I'm not wasting my time. The Justice Department and FBI declined to comment. Of course they did. Attorney General Merrick Garland said Thursday that he could not discuss the investigation. This is the Washington Post reporting. Hey, some people said stuff, but we got nothing. No one's offering up any information. But in an unusual public statement at the Justice Department, he announced he had personally authorized the decision to seek the court's permission for a search warrant. The guy whom Trump denied a seat on the Supreme Court, personally authorized a decision to search a Mar-a-Lago home of a former president with armed FBI agents to search for what originally were boxes that had already been gone over by the National Archive, but now suddenly it's about nuclear information. You know what I'm starting to think? I'm starting to think that the boxes were the original excuse. And as it came out and it was very clear that people were just not vibing with this excuse, they tried to come out with another one. And this one is far more bombastic. Oh, it's nuclear. It's nuclear information now. Can you guys believe he's got nuclear info? Oh my God, we got to search the cup. Again, it just made him look worse, though. Why'd you wait so long? Garland spoke moments after Justice Department lawyers filed a motion seeking to unseal the search warrant in the case, noting that Trump had publicly revealed the search shortly after it happened. The public's clear and powerful interest in understanding what occurred under these circumstances weighs heavily in favor of unsealing, the motion says. That said, the former president should have an opportunity to respond to this motion and lodge objections, including with regards to any legitimate privacy interests or the potential for other injury if these materials are made public. And once again, I want to remind you guys that this right there, what I just read, seemed to be them going, hey, Trump, there might be some damaging information. There might be some information in this sealed little excuse for our raid. You don't want it. And Trump was like, unseal it. Do it. You're going to get a tremendous boo-fooing. Late Thursday night, Trump said on social media that he agreed the document should be made public. He didn't just agree. He basically said, do it, you won't. In another post early Friday, he called the nuclear weapons issue a hoax, because it is, and accused the FBI of planting evidence. I want to tackle that just real fast, the whole planting evidence idea, because Rand Paul kind of said the same thing. You guys know me. I'm not big on conspiracy theories. But I'm willing to believe this. I'm willing to believe. Rand Paul kind of said the same. And here's the reason why I believe this. Because clearly we have a weaponized DOJ and FBI being controlled by a Democrat Party that is absolutely desperate to keep Trump from running. Okay? In 2024. And not only will he win if he does against any Democrat that they throw against him, he will have under his control a Republican Congress and a Republican Senate, a Republican-leaning Supreme Court. Okay? It is going to be bedlam for the Democrats. And I'm not just talking about a power loss. Let me be very clear about something right now. One of the reasons that I think the Democrats are so desperate to keep Trump out of office is because now, if Trump does get into office, the Democrats are going to have their secrets exposed by Trump. He is going to go after them with a vengeance because he has a lot of reason to hate them. It's personal now for Trump. They have screwed him over. They have tried to make him seem like the most evil person alive. They have unfairly attacked him, persecuted him. They have done everything in their power to destroy him. Teflon Don is still standing, and he's more powerful than ever. And I know for a fact, and he knows for a fact, that they have so much to hide. The Hunter Biden laptop, all right, the connections of Fauci in China, Nancy Pelosi and her connections to China now that we're discovering that, her insider trading, all of this stuff and more could come to the surface if Trump just blows a little bit on the dust covering the glass of the case holding all the stuff in it. I'm guaranteeing you these people are shaking in their boots because once Trump gets into office, people are going to be either fined for millions of dollars or people are going to jail. People who thought they were above the law. That is why they do not want Trump getting into office. If he gets in, they're done. These people who have built themselves up as being better than you, as the nobility, while you're the peasantry, they're going down if Trump gets back in. They are doing everything in their power, including weaponizing the DOJ and the FBI to keep him out of office. Do I think that they would be low enough at this point to save their own asses, to plant evidence? Yeah, I think it's possible. I think it's very possible. They're terrified. Trump said agents did not allow his lawyers to be present for the search, which is not unusual in law enforcement operation, especially if it potentially involves classified items. I feel like in this high-profile case, though, if they wanted everything to be on the up and up, they would actually allow the lawyers to watch because they would have be able to avoid this kind of legal complication. Material about nuclear weapons is especially sensitive and usually restricted to a small number of government officials, experts said. Publicizing details about U.S. weapons could provide an intelligence roadmap to adversaries seeking to build ways of countering those systems, and other countries might view exposing their nuclear secrets as a threat, experts said. One former Justice Department official, who in the past oversaw investigation of leaks of classified documentation or classified information, said the type of top secret information described by the people familiar with the probe. I have not seen one name except for Trump and Merrick Garland. All these people, well, let me tell you about this thing. Well, can you tell? No, it's all under the condition of anonymity. Excuse me, folks. My tongue just decided to go on vacation. Anonymity. Familiar with the probe would probably cause authorities to try to move as quickly as possible to recover sensitive documents that would cause grave harm to U.S. security. If that is true, it would suggest that material residing unlawfully at Mar-a-Lago may have been classified at the highest classification level, said, "Oh, David Love, we got a name." The former chief of the Justice Department's counterintelligence section, which investigates leaks of classified information. If the FBI and the Justice Department and the Department of Justice believe there were top secret materials still at Mar-a-Lago, they would lend itself to greater hair-on-fire motivation to recover that material as quickly as possible. As quickly as possible. Once again, timeline. Over a year and a half out of office now? Some quickness, huh? The Monday search of Trump's home by FBI agents has caused a political furor with Trump and many of his Republican defenders, accusing the FBI of acting out of politically motivated malice. Some have threatened the agency on social media. My God, it's just... I love how they do that. They added that. So here, let me give you guys a little Democrat defense 101. All right. No matter how wrong you are and how blatantly guilty you are of being wrong, all you have to do is say, people are threatening me. I'm getting threats and being harassed. And again, no matter how wrong you are, now you're the victim. And once you're the victim, you get a pass for everything. It's some narcissistic nonsense. You see it in it's almost like an abusive relationship kind of thing, where that person might be wrong, but the person who gets angry at the person who wronged them, suddenly they're at fault. You know? It's all about the reaction now. As Garland spoke Thursday, police in Ohio were engaged in a standoff with an armed man who allegedly tried to storm the Cincinnati office of the FBI. The man was killed by police later that day. Authorities said negotiations had failed. State and federal officials declined to name the man or describe a potential motive. However, a law enforcement official identified him as Ricky Schiffer. According to another law enforcement official, agents are investigating Schiffer's possible ties to extremist groups, including the Proud Boys, whose leaders are accused of helping launch the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. Both officials spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss ongoing investigation. What does this have to do with the raid? Once again, it's them trying to make the reaction to this the news, that's trying to make the FBI now the victims. Oh my God, the FBI was attacked by a crazed gunman because of all of this. Then that's the gunman's fault. It does not change the fact that what the FBI and DOJ did was wrong and pure desperation. What is the point of this, Wapo? What's the point? A person using Schiffer's name on Truth Social, Trump's social media site, posted a call to arms message shortly after the FBI search became... Who cares? Who cares? I do not care about that. This is a distraction now from the real problem. In a statement on Thursday, Garland defended FBI agents as, quote, dedicated, patriotic public servants, and said that he would not, quote, stand by silently while their integrity is unfairly attacked. Every day they protect the American people from violent crime, terrorism, and other threats to their safety while safeguarding our civil rights. They do so at great personal sacrifice and risk to themselves. I am honored to work alongside them. Ron Paul was right, man. Ron Paul gave an entire list of things that the FBI had done to the American people, and he said, it looks to me like the FBI, in its entire existence, is based around attacking the American people. Seems that's its job, to go after the American people. It's not here to defend us. And clearly, right now, it's here to secure the power of a single party. It was Garland's first public appearance or comments since agents executed the warrant at Mar-a-Lago Club, taking about a dozen boxes of material after opening a safe and entering a padlocked storage area. The search was one of the most dramatic developments in the cascade of legal investigations of the former president, most of which are just nonsense. These are legal investigations that they made in order to make Trump look bad. They know most of them aren't going to go anywhere. Most of them aren't going to find anything. They know that. But all they have to say is that Trump is under investigation for X, and the media will run with that in order to make Trump seem like he is a bad guy, that he is the most evil person in America to ever exist. Okay? Most of the people who actually pay attention aren't going to buy this. Okay? They're going to see this, and they're going to know that this is just one more thing that they're trying to use in order to stop Trump from running in 2024. However, if you are a person who does not necessarily closely pay attention to politics, right? You're living your everyday life, which is actually most Americans, and you see something like this, you are more likely to hear about all of these lawsuits and these accusations being directed at Trump, and you're going to start thinking, man, this is an evil dude. This is a bad man. Look at all this stuff he's being investigated for. Okay? Right now, if I had the money, I could hire lawyers, private investigators and all this stuff to launch investigations into all sorts of people. And I could just say, hey, this person is being investigated for XYZ. My neighbor is being investigated for cheating on his taxes. My neighbor is being investigated for keeping children in his basement. Like, I could just say all that, right? None of it would be at all true. But over time of me doing this, my neighbor would really start to look like bad guys to people who aren't actually paying attention to what's going on. I could turn my neighbor into the most evil person in America, despite the fact that he is completely innocent of all of it. This is what the Washington Post and the Democrats and the mainstream media are doing to Trump. They know that most people don't have time to really look into this and pay attention, so they can just announce this stuff and roll it out. And people will start to believe that he is actually a bad person. He hasn't been found guilty for any of it. But they can just say he's being investigated for it. That's how they get you. The investigation into the improper handling of documents began months ago, and the National Archives and Records Administration sought the return of material taken to Mar-a-Lago from the White House. 15 boxes of documents and items, some of them marked classified, were returned early this year. The archive subsequently asked the Justice Department to investigate. Former senior intelligence officials said in interviews that during the Trump administration, highly classified intelligence about sensitive topics, including about intelligence gathering on Iran, was routinely mishandled. One former official said the most highly classified information often ended up in the hands of personnel who didn't appear to have a need to possess it or weren't authorized to read it. Former senior intelligence officials said in interviews that during the Trump administration, highly classified intelligence about sensitive topics, including about intelligence gathering on Iran, were routinely mishandled. Do any of our enemies have any of this information? Who has it? Why? How did they get it? How was it mishandled? Can they tell us? Can they give us a clue? Also, once again, how come this kind of scariness, this sort of sensationalism wasn't around when Hillary Clinton's emails, that problem was exposed? I mean, why is this only an issue now? That former official also said Signals Intelligence intercepted electronic communications such as emails and phone calls, not emails, and phone calls of foreign leaders was among the type of information that often ended up with unauthorized personnel. Such intercepts are among the most closely guarded secrets because of what they can reveal about how the United States has penetrated foreign governments. Now emails are a big deal. Now they are. They don't want to go in too far into detail about how this happened, apparently, but, just trust us. It's really bad. It's really bad. But what about her emails? What are you, some sort of conservative ultra MAGA-ist talking about Hillary's? Why are you so obsessed with Hillary's emails? A person familiar with the inventory of 15 boxes taken from Mar-a-Lago in January indicted that signals intelligence material was included in them. The precise nature of the information was unclear. There's some really bad stuff in there. What was it? I don't know, but it was bad. The former officials and the other individuals spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive intelligence matters. Oh my God. Do y'all see a pattern? This spring, Trump's team received a grand jury subpoena in connection with the documents investigations. Two people familiar with the investigation who also spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss details confirmed to the Post on Thursday. Investigators visited Mar-a-Lago in the weeks following the issuance of the subpoena, and Trump's team handed over some materials. The subpoena was first reported by Just the News, a conservative media outlet run by John Solomon, one of the Trump's recently designated representatives to the National Archives. People familiar with the probe have said it is focused on whether the former president or his aides withheld classified or other government material that should have been returned to government custody earlier. The people who also spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss the investigation said that as authorities engaged in months of discussions on the subject, some officials came to suspect the Trump team was not being truthful. So some people that we don't have the names for, who are familiar with the investigation, think that some people on Trump's team weren't being truthful about documents that the National Archives had already combed through in boxes that Trump had that contained mementos like cocktail napkins, menus, letters. Okay. Pressure has been building for Garland to say something so the public can understand why the Justice Department and a federal magistrate judge believe the extraordinary step of executing a search warrant at the home of a former president was necessary. But Garland has stuck with his practice of not discussing ongoing investigations. Upholding the rule of law means applying the law evenly without fear or favor. What about Hillary Clinton's emails? This is a lie. This is a lie. We have a two-tier justice system. The law doesn't apply to. What about Hunter Biden's laptop? Under my watch, this is precisely what the Justice Department is doing. You're so full of crap, bro. Trump and his allies have refused to publicly share a copy of the warrant, even as they and their supporters have denounced the search as unlawful and politically motivated, but provided no evidence to back that. You're not providing any evidence yourself. You're not providing any. You're just saying some people familiar with the investigation, we're not going to name, they say that something is amiss. They say that Trump has stuff that is dangerous, and we got to get it back. And here they are. Well, they don't actually have evidence to say that this is politically motivated. My guy, we don't have like a confession, of course, but it's a little strange that a lot of this doesn't line up. Okay? And I want to remind everyone that in this country, you're guilty until proven innocent. The Washington Post is trying its absolute damnedest to make Trump seem, you're innocent until proven guilty. They're trying to make him seem guilty before at the moment, he's innocent. He's innocent of it all. He's not guilty of anything. Lawyers from the former president can respond to the government filing with any objections to unsealing the warrant, leaving it to the judge overseeing the case to decide. Trump also could publicly release the warrant himself. The judge ordered the Justice Department. This seems like they're trying to. This looks like they're trying to play on Trump right here, trying to get him to move. The judge ordered the Justice Department to confer with lawyers for Trump and alert the court by 3 p.m. Friday as to whether Trump objects to the unsealing, which he doesn't object. He wants them to unseal it. He said, do it. Do it. If made public, the warrant would probably reveal a general description of what materials agents were seeking at Mar-a-Lago and what crimes they could be connected to. A list of the inventory that agents took from the property would also be released. Details could be limited, however, particularly if the material collected includes classified documents. In addition to the anti-law enforcement threats and vitriol on social media sites, there it is again, and elsewhere this week, the furor over the search warrant has led to threats against the judge who approved the warrant. The Federal Law Enforcement Officer Association, the professional associating representing 31,000 federal law enforcement officers and agents, said in a statement Wednesday evening that its agents had received extreme threats of violence this week. All law enforcement understand their work makes them a target for criminal actors, wrote the group's president, Larry Cosme? However, the politically motivated threats of violence against the FBI this week are unprecedented in recent history and absolutely unacceptable. Again, you see it. We're going to make ourselves seem like the victim now. We did something wrong and people got pissed about it. Some idiots online, like you do, are going to make threats. By the way, I would like to see what kind of threats. I would like to see the threats. Just blank out the names if they have to, but I want to see these threats. Guaranteed, as usual, it's probably not as many as they try to make it seem. And these are from anonymous accounts with about maybe 10 followers at max. You know, hardly any retweets, if there are any retweets at all, likes. This is the constant thing. Fauci did the exact same thing when his back was put into a corner by Rand Paul. You know, they started kind of connecting him to that Chinese lab. And what did Fauci do? What was his move? His move was the exact same thing all Democrats do. I'm being threatened and harassed. You're a public figure, bro. It's gonna. I get threats and harassment. It happens to me. I'm in the public square. I'm one of the speakers. Of course, people. Whenever I get threats, whenever a Twitter mob comes for me, if I write an article that really pisses people off. And I've wrote many in my time. By the way, you want to know who like the worst people are? Like the most threatening people, or the people who threaten me the most and have been the most nastiest? Taylor Swift fans. No joke. Taylor Swift fans. They're mean, boy. Republicans around Trump initially thought the raid could help him politically, but they are now bracing for revelations that could be damaging. A person familiar with the matter said, speaking on the condition of anonymity to discuss. I'm so done with this article. I'm glad it's over because I don't know if I could read one more speaking under the condition of anonymity. I can't. This article is dog crap. This is nothing. I got nothing out of this. This article is a bunch of, it's just saying, hey, some people who are speaking under the why can't I say that today? Some people who are speaking under the condition of an, bro, my tongue doesn't even want to say it. My tongue doesn't even want to say it. Speaking under the condition of anonymity. They're saying that Trump might have some stuff that some people who we're not going to name think is really bad. Is that your news? Yep. Okay. Good God. They better have something. Man. Their biggest worst act of desperation so far? Yes. In the same time, the Jan 6ers are still being held for over a year without due process. That is also something that I am disgusted by. That's not this nation. That's not how this works. They need to be... Why are... How come nobody is asking why these people haven't been to court? How come nobody is asking why they haven't gotten their due process rights yet? Are they afraid that once they get them on stage, it's like, what are they going to say something that... I don't know, makes it seem like maybe they're not that bad, or they were going to have stories that kind of differ from the Democrats' narrative. What is it? Why aren't they getting their due process rights? They didn't seem to want to hold Antifa members when they were storming around D.C. Like, what is going on here? You knew they knew it was a bad move when they refused to use the word raid. Because it identifies as something else, apparently. What was it that Hillary called Trump supporters? Deplorables. Anonymous sources say it ain't so. Same thing Ray said. You mean dark? Yeah. Basket of deplorables. How about Hunter Biden's laptop? That is fresh and new. Yeah. Hunter is on the beach cracking it up right now. He knows that he will not be raided so long as the Democrats remain in power. And that's horrible to me. Hunter was on Air Force One yesterday going on vacay with the big guy. He's guilty of being their public enemy, and that's good enough for them. Pretty much. I mean, noob, that's really what it boils down to. You're a threat. You got to go. A judge linked to Epstein. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I noticed, did they not say that in this article either? Sad thing is that you were right the first time. We are guilty until proven innocent in today's world. I mean, that's actually pretty true now that, yeah. I mean, it was a slip of the tongue. Maybe it was a Freudian slip. Because, I mean, we are pretty much guilty until proven innocent now in this country. Unless you have a D next to your name, it's the ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card. Sadly, yes. Bet no jail time. I don't trust the justice system to actually do anything to the Pelosi's at all. Guilty until proven innocent, except for the D. Yep. Taylor Swift fans, no ish. Dude, they're mean, bro. I got so many threats because of Taylor Swift fans. I would have thought it was people like me who still think Superman has a chance against Goku. Goku would win. I'm tired of people saying otherwise. The Swifties are a crazy fan base. Dude, they're freaking nuts, bro. Taylor Swift fans are online, at least. I mean, well, I've actually gotten into arguments with like friends and family because I would say something critical of Taylor Swift and they would go bonkers. Like they would get mad. Swiftards. That's a good way to put it, actually. That's what's happening in they're destroying themselves and their party. When your enemy is in the process of making a mistake, let him. That was Napoleon's strategy. Remember the 300, if they killed Leonidas, all the Spartans will go to war. Oh, and they did. Yeah, let's say Trump does go down for something. Do you think at this point in time that people are going to believe that he's actually guilty of it? You know? Like, if the concern is actually trying to get the public to turn against Trump, do they actually believe that many people would think that this is a legit raid? That evidence wasn't planted? I mean, we're already starting to get to a point where people are like, I'm not even conspiracy theorist, and I'm over here going, I bet they would plant evidence. I bet they would. I mean, this is what they do in banana republics, man, and this is a banana republic move. Why wouldn't they? I suspect that if we're going to make martyrs of anyone, it would be, God forbid, Joe Biden. They would blame it on Republicans and conservatives. Of course they would. Did anyone else notice the difference in the Marines that used to fly with Trump and Marine One and the ones that Biden has? Don't know if there is a difference, but it's apparent. No, I actually didn't know. You're going to have to point that out to me. I can see them trying that ish, Mr. Noob. Taylor Swift jumped into politics on her will. Check that. Yeah. Oh, she did. And, you know what? Funny enough, nothing worked out for her. I know we're going to go a little late. You guys mind if I keep going? Can we keep going? Is that cool? Let's move on because I want to talk about this now. It pleases me. We can talk about a high note now. Liz Cheney has one last whine as latest poll seals her fate. Liz Cheney loves to be one of those principled conservatives. And I like the fact that, they kind of out themselves whenever they just automatically turn against Trump. They have no desire to be friendly toward Trump, to give him the benefit of the doubt or anything. They are as good as Democrats. Liz Cheney is a Lincoln Project kind of Republican. Her goal is the destruction of the Republican Party while wearing, falsely, a Republican R next to her name. She's not a Republican, period. And I think people have now figured that out, and it seems like she's on her way out the door. Time to start the countdown. 4 days left until Rep. Liz Cheney gets the boot in her August 16 primary in Wyoming. Cheney has been desperately trying to pull anything out of the hat to win. She had her father appeal to people to vote for her by attacking President Donald Trump. She's also appealed to Democrats to vote for her. Both these things, of course, would be more likely to make Wyoming's very Republican voters vote for her opponent. But Cheney has one last whine left. She doesn't talk about Wyoming or anything that might concern voters with all the issues that are crushing the people now. She talks about her obsession to get Trump. She attacks Trump for questioning the election because she says that endangers our republic.
To ensure that our exceptional nation. As Election Day nears, I want to talk to citizens across our great state and all across our country. America cannot remain free if we abandon the truth. The lie that the 2020 presidential election was stolen is insidious. It preys on those who love their country. It is a door Donald Trump opened to manipulate Americans to abandon their principles, to sacrifice their freedom, to justify violence, to ignore the rulings of our courts and the rule of law. This is Donald Trump's legacy, but it cannot be the future of our nation.
First off, the music going on behind her is like, it's supposed to be like thought-provoking and like supposed to raise the soul, to like have that pride come up from within you. As she's not even talking about the nation, as she's not talking about patriotism, her obsession with Donald Trump. This is her campaign, right? This is a campaign ad, and it's the campaign ad that Democrats were relying on before the 2020 election. The "We're Not Trump" party. She is appealing to Democrats. This is only going to appeal to Democrats. And you would think that, if she is running for office in a state, that she would try to talk to these people in that state and try to appeal to them about their needs, about their wants, about their values. She's not. She's going off about her own personal vendetta about Trump. That's what this is. It's so cringy.
History has shown us over and over again how these types of poisonous lies destroy free nations. Like many candidates across this country, my opponents in Wyoming have said that the 2020 election was rigged and stolen. No one who understands our nation's laws, no one with an honest, honorable, genuine commitment to our Constitution would say that. It is a cancer that threatens our great republic. If we do not condemn these lies, if we do not hold those responsible to account, we will be excusing this conduct, and it will become a feature of all elections. America will never be the same. Nothing in our public life is...
Shut up. Stacey Abrams. How come she can make those claims whenever she loses an election? Whenever Trump won. Let's go back in time. Nancy Pelosi. I can't say these words that Nancy Pelosi just said because if I do, YouTube will flag the video and take it down. The current press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre. Reminder, Brian Kemp. This is about the Stacey Abrams thing. She claims that Brian Kemp stole the election from Stacey Abrams. Again, we have another one, a Democrat claiming the 2016 election. Apparently, again, there are two separate rule books. One that apply to you and me, and one that apply to the left, to the Democrats. They can make these accusations all day long whenever they don't get what they want. But the moment a Republican does it, suddenly it's a threat to the entire nation. Suddenly it's the most egregious insult to our system. I can't even say it on YouTube. I can't even talk. I can't say the words without YouTube taking my video down. But they can say it all day long. And you think they're not going to say it? If Trump wins again, you think they're not going to go back to that and make the same claims? You know they are. You know they are. Some good news, though. Wyoming congressional Republican primary poll. Likely voters. Harriet Hageman, 57.4. Liz Cheney, 27.8. And within the GOP, I'm going to say Hageman, 68.1. Cheney, 15.4. Dude, she's done. Cheney's done. Get her out, man. This woman is an embarrassment. One more thing, and I'll let you guys go. I know we're going a little late, but I kind of wanted to talk about this too. Nancy Pelosi's son, a major investor in Chinese telecoms company. Did y'all see the other day when Nancy Pelosi decided that she wanted to tell everyone that China was one of the freest nations in the world? After she had gone through this entire thing of defying China to go to Taiwan, and we were all cheering her on, go Nancy, because we needed to show China who's boss. And now she's over here like, China is one of the freest nations in the world, one of the strongest democracies. Well, as it turns out, we were trying to figure out why she would suddenly reverse course and just kneel before China. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's son has apparently joined the list of political offspring who magically keep landing jobs as consultants overseas. This is from the Daily Mail. Nancy Pelosi's son is the second largest investor in a $22 million Chinese company whose senior executive was arrested in a fraud investigation, DailyMail.com can reveal, raising questions about his secretive visit to Taiwan with his mother, as well as investigating Paul Pelosi Jr., 53, who also worked for the telecoms company Bonkers Technologies in a board or consultancy role, Securities and Exchange Commission documents show. Wow, feels like deja vu all over again. Just substitute the name Hunter Biden for Paul Pelosi Jr., and the story should still sound credible. For his consultancy, Pelosi was given 700,000 shares of stock in the company. At one time, he was the second largest shareholder in the Beijing-based firm, although it's unclear if that's still the case today. Either way, it must be nice. Bonkers is a telecoms company specializing in the Internet of Things, products, and is listed on the NASDAQ stock exchange with a current market capitalization of $22 million, according to the Mail. Gee freaking Willikers, you guys. Kind of strange, isn't it? That these people have all these connections. Hunter Biden, Paul Pelosi Jr. have all these connections to foreign nations, business dealings. Why is it always the powerful Democrat families that have these connections? We're not allowed to talk about them. I'm telling you guys. This right here, okay, and this are, oh, I'm sorry, you can't even see what I'm talking about. This and this, I think, are actually kind of connected, because I'm going to repeat myself. If Trump gets back into office, if he gets back into office, you think that this won't be investigated? You think that Hunter Biden won't be investigated? You think these powerful families in the Democrat Party won't have their secrets shown to the world? That he's not going to shine a light on all this stuff? You know for a fact that he is. They don't want that. They're desperate to stop it. They'll do anything. For some people, it's a personal vendetta. I think like Merrick Garland, Liz Cheney, it's a personal vendetta. But for others, Democrats have something to hide. There is something going on. The corruption goes so deep, and Trump is going to come into office with revenge on his mind, baby. They fear his retribution. That's why they don't want him in office so badly. It's not just about losing power. It's not just about losing power. Have a good weekend, everyone. I got to bounce as well. Pickled Squirrel, thank you so much for stopping by. Red, the best of mods. Thanks, man. Had to mention this. Did you, Brandon? Oh, I had to. Freedom must mean something very different to dear old Nancy. Oh, absolutely. Don't forget John Kerry's son. I'm telling powerful Democrat families, man. I bet if you were really investigate them, and I mean really investigate them, you would find all sorts of corruption going all the way down to grandpa and grandma, baby. Always follow the money. Yeah. Wubba lubba dub dub. Bagel rack. If you want to know who is really in charge, simply look at who you are not allowed to criticize. Yep. Amen to that. Attack on Titan on your hat, Brandon. Oh, you got it. It's the Wings of Freedom. Wings of Freedom, one of my favorite shows, hands down. Money, and the power is all they understand. Yep. Great Late Night Peace Thursday from Bob Hogue. Yeah, dude, he is so good. He really is. It's about public perception. Yep. Good show again. Thank you. Thank you so much. Guys, that's it for me. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are amazing. Please go to redstate.com and read all the great stuff we've got going up there. Sign up for the VIP program. Use promo code Morrison. Sign up. You're about to see a VIP piece from me incoming. Also, I've got 2 new highlight videos uploaded this week on the Red State YouTube channel where you are currently. So once I'm done with this stream, by all means, go watch those videos. Give them a like. Give this stream a like. It really helps me out. Follow me on Twitter at @TheBrennanMorse. Follow me on Instagram at @TheBrennanMorseLive. And by all means, send me a DM or something like that if something you would like to hear me talk about on the show. I would love to get you guys to get more involved by helping me actually put the show together, believe it or not. But in any case, guys, you enjoy your weekend. I recommend turning off the TV, turning off Twitter, stepping away from politics, because this week was insane. You don't want to tire yourself out. You know? Trust me. It's going to get sillier from here. It's just going to get sillier. All right, guys. Y'all have a good weekend. Much love. Peace!